Meta, thank you for coming on the podcast to talk about Justin Bieber. We know you're a big Bieb stand. I see the tweets. I see the merch. I'm like, that guy's rocking with it. He's going with Bieber.
I've been a believer ever since day one. You know what I mean? Like, it's embedded at this point. I can't deny it anymore. This is my coming out. This is me coming out as a believer.
Hey, when we all heard Baby back in the day, we're like, damn, this kid's got it. He's going to go on a decade-long tear of pop radio.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this week, we are comparing Justin Bieber's latest, Justice, with Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. I cannot think of two more different records.
And for the record, that's the reason why we're having Met on, because he's a noted Jay-Z super fan.
Yes.
I imagine if there's anybody I want to talk to about Reasonable Doubt, it's this man right here. So welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tell us about your Jay-Z story and your fandom, and what drove you towards Jay.
So actually 1996, I was with my boy BDF. We just got out of school. We were going to his house to watch Rap City, as we did every day, because I went to St. Paul Central. So but I lived in Lakeville, Minnesota, so I drove every day. And instead of driving right back after school, I would like stop at his house and just hang out for a few hours. And that day when Reasonable Doubt came out, it was the same day that Camp Low, Uptown Saturday Night came out. And Ski Beats produced on both records. And BDF is like a hip hop encyclopedia, he's a nerd. So we were just geeked off of like the Ski Beats productions and stuff. So we listened to both albums that day. And for the first 2 years of my life, I was listening to Camp Low more because I liked the production and just how groovy it was. And then I started really listening to Jay after Volume 1 dropped, and I was like, wait, this dude. So I went back to Reasonable Doubt, and I was like, yo, this dude is amazing. So from that point on, like, Jay's just been that dude to me. Man.
How old were you when that happened?
15.
Okay, because my exposure to Jay-Z, Auggie, I think we hit on this during our Amy Winehouse and Hove podcast. Also, congrats to Jay-Z for being the first artist to be covered twice on the podcast.
Hey.
It's only right. My exposure to Jay-Z was the Black Album, 2003. I was a little bit younger than you at the time, Meta. I was 10 or 11 watching Rap City, The Basement, and 106 in Park, and seeing Dirt Off Your Shoulder and the 99 Problems videos. I'm just like, this guy is so cool. This is going to be his last album. Oh, no. I remember being 11, just like so taken back by this guy. And my exposure to his catalog was reverse chronological, right? It was Black Album, and then it was Blueprints, and then it was Reasonable Doubt. And I didn't understand. Whenever I think of Jay-Z, I think of the Black Album as like the pinnacle of his career, and I don't understand like what got him to that point. It's just not a reference point for me. I was too young. I was 3 when Reasonable Doubt came out.
Yeah, for sure.
And as an adult now, as I approach 30, I listened to Reasonable Doubt with my mature ears, and I was like, oh my gosh, like why was I sleeping on? I've been sleeping on it. I would never go back behind like Volume 1, but now I'm gonna seek out Reasonable Doubt now and put it in my like summer rotation. That's a summer album.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is ride with the windows down and the nice tropical drink music right there. Like you feel grown up listening to that.
Can I live? Right? You know?
Just want a Cohiba and something. I don't know.
Auggie, do you want to take us through the synopsis of Reasonable Doubt?
I gotta preface this by saying my relationship with Jay-Z and his music is at the time I was like anti Jay-Z. I was like Tupac fan. Tupac said fuck Jay-Z, so I was like fuck Jay-Z. I was part of the I was a Tupac cultist at 12 years of age when this album dropped. And so I slept on Reasonable Doubt until like 2002, 2000, I don't know, somewhere in there. I went back and I heard it and I was like, this is amazing. So I had a love-hate relationship with Jay-Z early on. And that being said,
you're on the West Coast too, so that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I was just listening to Tupac. I was just young and impressionable. You know what I'm saying? If I would have had, my own, I guess if I would have just thought about it differently, I would have been a Jay-Z super fan. But this was the era of beepers. People, Meta, did you have a beeper at this time?
I had a beeper. Absolutely.
I had a beeper too. I can kind of remember my beeper number. CDs, dial-up internet. Internet just wasn't swift like it is now.
Wait,
And
did he say like he got matching VCRs in like track 2? He's like, I got matching VCRs. Like, wait, what?
Huge.
Yeah.
He said something about a huge Magnavox, 10-inch, like spinach, stuff like that.
he said he had it in his car. He had a VCR in the car.
It's crazy. Listen to that now. A huge Magnavox.
Yo, and you said it was 10 inches. Like, that's something to brag about. My computer screen I'm looking at is bigger than that.
Man, you've come along in a short time.
Unbelievable.
And at this time, June 25th, 96, I could say that the best rapper alive at that point was probably Nas. If you asked 100 people who the best rapper was, they would probably say it was Nas. I don't think the Biggie greatest rapper thing happened until really after he died. I don't think anybody was really talking about him as the GOAT. Is that correct, Meta?
He was in the conversations, but yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like Biggie, I think after Big dropped, it was after he did Ready to Die and before he did Life After Death, when he had the Junior Mafia album, and he was like, and he was dropping, everybody found out he was writing all of her stuff and everything like that. That's what put him into the conversation. It was like, okay, so he's writing for a whole group and a woman and putting out all these hits, and he's killing every feature he's on. Like, that's when people started really being like, okay, Biggie's one of them dudes. But Nas at that point had Illmatic and It Was Written. I think it was like, yeah, he was pretty much solidified. Like Nas was that dude at that point.
He was like the golden boy. Like, everybody thought he was the successor to Rakim at that point. Rakim was the GOAT.
Illmatic, he was 18. 18?
Yeah.
Right.
Bro, if I go back and play the music I was making at 18, like, you might respect me more because you'd be like, yo, the growth is exponential, bro. But I was ass, bro. Ass.
That's a great growth mindset, though. I respect it. I mean, that's the only way to look at things reasonably, right? Like, no, like that's so rare. When we look at these talents like Billie Eilish, like Nas, to think about the music they're putting out as a teen is unbelievable, and it makes. And I said, what was it, last episode, Auggie? I said everyone has that in them to make music. I've reinvestigated that opinion and be like, we can all make music, but I don't know if it can be that good unless you got like 20,000 hours of practice at 17, which is a rare thing.
Which is rare.
Rare as hell. Now, speaking of debuts, this was Jay-Z's debut album, and he said that it was going to be his only album. There was a lot of talks that it was going to be a one and done. He felt like this was a classic and it was going to be over for him. So I got a little bit of a hot take. Should I hit this music?
Oh my gosh. Yes, go.
I got that. Hove, I talked about this before, man, with the Black Album.
Don't.
I talked about the Black Album being kind of a gimmick, and I'll explain this later. This is too much for this podcast. Hove is a manipulator. We fell for it twice. We fell for it first with the Reasonable Doubt, and then with the Black Album. He said he was going to be a one and done. He said that album was going to be his last album, both of them. Jay-Z, more of a politician than we care to admit. What say you, Meta? What say you, Jordan?
I think it's calculated. I believe he has a calculated plan with stuff that he does. Absolutely. I don't know about manipulator. I feel like, I don't know, we could say the same thing about Michael Jordan in that sense. That, you know what I mean?
That's a great point, Meta. And you know what?
But nobody wants to say that about Jordan. So I
don't think Jordan didn't have the intent of coming back. I don't think Jay-Z legitimately had an attempt to come back, at least with Reasonable Doubt. He said it in the album that he was going to.
I think Jordan really did think he was going to come back. I mean, he did it twice. He did it twice too. He left to play baseball. He left on the final shot and came back with the Wizards.
Yeah. That's fair.
I think Jay-Z has shown himself to be a man that he changes his mind in the wake of new information, right? He likes to fill himself with info, and as his circumstances change and new info is presented, Jay-Z's a fluid guy. He's not going to tie himself to anything. Why should we tie ourselves? No, our word is bond, correct. But our opinions aren't. We can change our opinions with new info. I'm trying to spin a web.
No, benefit of the reasonable doubt. Benefit of the reasonable doubt.
Yes. Let's give Hove the reasonable doubt.
Touche. Like what you did there.
Thank you.
So this album, I'm going to talk about like the critics' initial reaction to this. And when you talk about hip hop albums in the 90s, the only thing that you are worried about when it comes to critics is the source. Anybody else that's reviewing rap albums in the 1990s don't have a leg to stand on. So you go straight to the source, and they have a rating system which is based on mics, just for everybody that's unfamiliar with the source, from 1 to 5, and 5 means it's an instant classic. They gave it a 4. And I gotta say that I went back and read the review by Charlie Braxton, who reviewed this album, and he had a very modern take on this album. He said that Jay-Z mars this LP with an almost religious disrespect for women on songs like Cashmere Thoughts and Ain't No N-Word. And he does. And so for him to be in the 90s and recognize this and say, like, whoa, this is misogynistic. Cheers to Charlie Braxton, man.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, there's no denying that.
Yeah, that's the story of just the 90s and early 2000s pop culture in general, from music to TV. People were wilding and saying whatever, and I'm glad we've advanced past that.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. We're better than that.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate the reviewer for recognizing that. He also said that a lot of the topics and stuff were overused, like the gangster stuff. And at the time it was like everybody was talking about mafioso this, mafioso that, gangster stuff. So that was his reasoning for giving it 4. 2 years later, they said that album was an instant classic, and they also, like a few years after that, came back and retroactively gave it 5 mics.
I hate retroactive reviews. Stand your ground.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I feel the same way. Like, I understand being like, all right, maybe we slept a little bit on this, but at the same time, let's take it for what it is. We slept on it. We gave it 4. We should have gave it 5. Keep it moving. Like, don't go back. Like, I agree. Stand on what you said. That's what you said. That's how you felt. And as a magazine, you stood by your employee and his opinion, so stand by it. You know what I mean?
And I know 5 minutes ago I just said change your mind in the wake of new information. I'm aware of the hypocrisy, but this is an opinion. These are not facts. You said your opinion. It was 4 out of 5. That's it. This isn't like that's science. Funny. Like there's a new way to work out that's better. Then you can change your opinion.
New development show that the reason it's 5 mics is good.
Yeah, like, oh, we learned that this production like, I don't get it. It's not a stock. It's just an album.
I feel it. Well, Jordan, take us to 2021, man. Justin Bieber. This is the newest album we've reviewed yet, which is
that. Yep, that's don't get into my Google Doc, Auggie. You know I like to read straight from the doc when it comes to the synopsis, and you're stealing my sentences.
Oh shit. Okay. Damn, I didn't even know.
That's the first sentence. My first sentence is Justice is the most recent album we have ever covered on the pod. Damn it, dude.
Dang, he definitely undercut you on that one.
Yeah, but it's whatever. That was a powerful, strong lead, and you took it from me. This is Journalism 101, and I can't believe it. All right.
I'm sorry, sir.
Justice is the 6th album from Justin Drew Bieber, released a month ago. This album comes off the heels of his 5th album, Changes, which he released in February 2020. We all know yummy, 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 yummy. This is not the yummy album, okay?
Thank God.
Demos for Justice were recorded in Bieber's Toronto home during the lockdown portion of the pandemic. Remember that? I almost look upon that with some nostalgia. Like, oh, remember lockdown? Remember first lockdown?
It feels like a long time ago.
Oh my, it feels, it feels like middle school. Like, oh, what a time. Production on this album came from Skrillex, Phineas, John Bellion, Benny Blanco, and more, plus contained features from a wide a range of guests spanning from Quavo to Tori Kelly. Sidebar, Tori Kelly, mad underrated. I rock with Tori Kelly. Big Christina Aguilera's vocal vibes.
I fuck with her. Good. She's a nice person too. She's an excellent, kind person.
Good. That makes me like her more. I like when talented people are good people. I root for them.
So she was on a big press run back when I worked at KDWB, right? Top 40 station. She was doing like I forgot the name of her song. So she came through like 3 times in 8 months, and every time she pulled up, I was always wearing a jersey. And the second time she goes, "Oh, Jersey guy," and then the third time she goes, "Jersey guy, how are you?" No, I'm like,
nice.
I'm Jersey guy to Tori Kelly.
That's super cool though.
Yeah,
that's a cool story.
Thanks, bro. Shout out Tori Kelly. Let's get her on the pod.
Shout out Tori Kelly. As you said, Christina Aguilera. I got a hot take for you. I think she's a better vocalist than Christina Aguilera.
You might be right.
Wow.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a proper good take. rooted in amazing information.
You know
I know
what?
Christina's music more, but if we're going pure voice, like the tone of the voice, the inflection, riffs and runs and all that other stuff, yeah, I think Tori's got it.
Wow.
You might be right.
I never even thought about this. Now I'm gonna listen to Tori Kelly to know, because Christina Aguilera is just powerful vocalist. Like she's
absolutely.
I was equating belting. I just was thinking about, because they both can go like really awesome. So that's what I was comparing.
Yeah.
All right. Justice. We're back at it. We are a month into the album, but we've already heard 5 singles: Holy, Lonely, Anyone, Hold On, and the latest, Peaches. That's
Shout out
that
Peaches.
shit. The success of this album is already solidified. It was certified gold immediately upon release. It debuted at #1 in 10 countries. We're talking 154,000 album equivalent units in its first week. That's pop star numbers. People say Bieber fell off.
No.
That's not support.
Time to change. That's all.
Critically, it's a Bieber album, so the conversation will be divisive. Either critics will pan it to look, like I'm cooler than Bieber, or they will praise it to look open-minded. If we're looking at Metacritic, which aggregates everything, right? Not Metasota, we're looking at Metacritic.
Right, of course.
Yes. It's a 62 out of 100, which I think is a little bit low. I think it's like a 70 out of 100 album. On the positive side, critics loved the thematic cohesion of the album, the messages of hope, and Bieber's unapologetic embracing of his pop roots. Some would even say it was his strongest front-to-back work, which is false. That title belongs to Purpose, but I digress. Purpose was just a great album.
Purpose was a banger, man. Like I don't know if you listen to Purpose, but if you want to hear like just a dope kind of like an R&B leaning album, I wouldn't call it R&B.
It's like R&B mixed with EDM, because Skrillex did a lot of production on that, and it's just really smooth.
That's interesting. All right.
It's a good ass album.
I would listen to that. I would listen to that. This Justice album, I feel like is the successor to that album. I feel like he was kind of like. It was basically 2 feet, and he was taking a step with the right foot after he took a step with the left foot with this one. So
a lot of critics said that as well.
I like this album a lot, but I just don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about the Martin Luther King Jr. shit that's sprinkled all over this album.
Well, that's great that you segue into that. On the critical side, people thought it did not live up to the meteoric highs of Bieber's past, which was a bit repetitive, and it's more so an album of Bieber flexing his vocal skills over the lyrical content. No matter if you liked it or not, Auggie and Meta, many critics found the placements of Martin Luther King's speeches in the album irrelevant. This is summed up best by Chris Williams of Variety. He contemplates why anyone thought it was a good idea to conflate civil rights martyrdom with the thought of succumbing to a hot woman. How did this get past A&Rs and the studio, dude? Chris Williams just nails it on the head. Everyone greenlit this. Why? How? It's reckless.
I couldn't have said that any better.
But here's what Bieber said about it. Okay. He said this he was in a clubhouse room recently. He said, being Canadian, they didn't teach us about Black history. It was just not a part of our education system. I think for me, coming from Canada and being uneducated and making insensitive jokes when I was a kid and being insensitive and honestly being just a part of the problem because I didn't know better, I wanted to use my platform to share this raw moment of Martin Luther King in a time where he knew he was going to die for what he was standing up for. And he's got on record saying, like, I just wanted to get this in front of as many ears as possible because there's a lot of people like me that weren't subjected to it. And I like the concept. But again, this album is about falling in love with the hot, like it's like an interlude where like he's like justice for all. And then it goes into Bieber singing about his wife. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the devil's advocate for this, because like, initially, like, I'm like, I felt this. I couldn't put it the same way Chris Wallace did, but I felt this. Chris Williams, I'm sorry. Chris Williams. Shout out Chris Wallace, though.
Christopher Wallace. You're talking about
Biggie? Man, rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. I'm thinking about the God, man. I'm sorry. Christopher Williams. And he's not Christopher Williams, because Biggie actually said this in a rhyme, because Christopher Williams is actually there's a singer named Christopher Williams. Anyways,
dreaming.
Yep. Anyways, shout out to him. I couldn't have put that any better, just like Meta said. But when you think about this, and you think about how Bieber framed this, it could just be great manipulation on his part. But you think about like serving medicine with like honey or something, right? Like you give like a baby honey with medicine and make him take it. And for him, it's like, hey, this album is going to be massive because I'm Justin Bieber. All these people are going to listen to this. And if I put these Martin Luther King quotes in here, and I'll give him this. These quotes aren't like the "I have a dream" quotes that everybody's heard. These are kind of like lower key, messages from him, stuff that, like, I guess deep cut Martin Luther King stuff that he put on here. So for him to expose kids that may never get exposed to this, I feel like it could be like a honey with the medicine moment, regardless of the subject matter.
That's a good point too. That's a good way to put it. I think that was a great analogy. The honey with the medicine. I think KRS-One used to call it edutainment. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Give them something to dance to or whatever, but hit them with something that they'll have to maybe reflect on at some point later, or give them a visual that'll stick with them that they'll have to reflect on. I'm not mad at it. It's just like, huh. It's like I see both sides. I see why people would be like, why would you do that? But I see your point too, as to he's trying to put it upon an audience that normally wouldn't be subjected to Martin Luther King speeches or quotes or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I mean, however you feel about it, you're right. That's how
it's true.
Yeah, I mean, again, it came out last month, so the discourse around this is still very new, and as the album gets older, we can see what Justin's actions are in terms of what he's talking about, and
if it was sincere or if it was just a ploy.
Yeah. Is he backing it up? And I have every belief that he's going to back it up. I don't. Justin seems to be that type of guy. Meta, you don't know this, but on last week's podcast, we covered Billie Eilish, and who was a big Justin Bieber fan, and Biebs in the documentary was like texting Billy like, I've been in your shoes, let me know if you need anything. Just awesome big brother status. So I'm really high on Bieber right now. I'm like, all right, this guy's got a good heart. So hopefully his heart can come into action in this regard as well.
That's cool. I don't hold a bunch of old stuff against him. He was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Kids do dumb shit all the time. So it's not a big, that's cool.
All right. Moving on. 5 fun facts. Should we do reasonable doubt fun facts or justice fun facts?
You know what? I'm itching to give these fun facts out because just the lore around Reasonable Doubt is just incredible to me. And it's just a great album. There was a whole summer where and this was like in the 2000s that I would listen to this. I had the CD in my truck, and it's exclusively what I listened to for an entire summer because it's that good.
Those are the best. Those are the best summers when you find an album that just hits you. The best. Let's go, Auggie. Give it to us.
And this was like 2006 too. Like it was like 10-year-old album. I'm like, I gotta hear this every day.
Yo, you were promiscuous. Was the summer of 2006 was the promiscuous summer with Timbaland and Nelly Furtado. You opted over promiscuous.
I couldn't escape promiscuous, to be honest with you. It was
and
everywhere.
Don't Ya by Pussycat Dolls. That was a great summer for pop. Those are great summer anthems. Dude. Buttons.
And that's why I listened to Reasonable Doubt all summer.
Damn. Okay, go on.
Hey, you know what? Nelly Furtado, I fuck with her. Because shout out to Timbaland. But all right, here's the fun fact. So fun fact number 1, Jay-Z stole beats on this album. Meta, I bet you know this. That's Ski Beats. You talked about him earlier, how he produced for Camp Lo, and both those albums came out at the same time. He had made at least then, and they say that there's more than one beat that Ski had originally given Camp Lo before Jay-Z got it, but Feeling It specifically was for Camp Lo, and Camp Lo actually recorded a version of Feeling It that's out there that you can go find with the same hook and everything, the same vocalist on there singing Feeling It. And Jay-Z told. Jay-Z said, I want those beats. Like, I don't care about Camp Lo. I want them. And Ski was like, just to have the wherewithal at the time to be like, yo, I should probably give these beats to the GOAT. Shout out to Ski for having that forethought.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun fact for all the producers out there, Ski Beats has some amazing drum kits on the internet, so go cop them. Great snare sounds, great hi-hats. I could take or leave the kicks, but great hi-hats and snares.
Meta, you said you didn't know that there's a version of Camp Lo for Feeling It?
I didn't know that there was a version you could listen to. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to listen to that as soon as we get off here, just out of curiosity.
Hey, they were spitting too, that weird lingo that they were spitting. They were really spitting that lingo on that.
saying, it sounded cool, but to this day, I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. Like, so they're almost speaking in like Morse code. They're like, like hieroglyphics or something. Like, I don't know what these dudes were talking about, but it sounded great though.
Dudes were speaking Star Wars languages and shit on,
I can translate it. I'll translate it. I'm wearing the Jedi Order shirt right now. Let's go.
Oh shit. Damn. All right. Fun fact number 2. Originally, this album was not supposed to be called Reasonable Doubt.
Ooh.
Jay-Z gave it the name Heir to the Throne. He changed it because he felt like he wanted to let the people decide if he deserved that title or not.
Very noble, but I kind of wish it was Heir to the Throne, so that Watch the Throne would be just that much more impactful. That would have been nuts.
Clearly, when on knowing this knowledge, clearly Watch the Throne was the title that Jay-Z gave that album, not Kanye West.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's cool.
There's not much history between the Watch the Throne album name, because that's when I was writing for that Kanye website, so I was all in on all things Watch the Throne, and it was always going to be Watch the Throne. There was never any backup titles, and I wish there was more insight as to how that title came about. There was supposed to be a documentary that came out, and that never did, and I'm sure we would have gotten the answers there.
Fun fact number 2: most of us, all of us in this Zoom, we probably all know that Hov owns all his masters on Tidal, except for one. And it's this album, the one that he wants the most. It created beef between him and Biggs and Dame Dash. Biggs says that he's giving the masters of Reasonable Doubt to his son. So Hov probably never going to own these masters.
That bums me out, kind of. Just that. But I'm glad Jay-Z's got them all, except for this one. But it's like it's kind of like, I wish it was across the board.
I don't know. It's kind of whack, but it's kind of like, like good. I don't know, because I'm not bad at Biggs. Biggs is like the quiet one in the whole situation. Like, he needs some, like, the Dame Dash got recognition just for being Dame Dash. Jay-Z's Jay-Z. Biggs has Reasonable Doubt masters. Cool. Everybody wins.
There it is.
And you know what? He deserves it too, because it was all his money. Everything that they did to promote, everything that they did to put out those street singles that they put out.
Sure.
Yep, it was big.
Oh, they did. Oh, he did. He funded it.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's not like he's like some guy that just, some shady businessman like what's his name from the NWA movie? What's that guy's name?
Oh, what is that guy's name?
I can't remember.
Jerry Heller.
Yeah,
Jerry Heller.
He's not a Jerry Heller.
I was thinking about our NSYNC podcast. What was the NSYNC guy? The bag.
Perlman.
Oh yeah, Perlman.
Oh, I forgot about that dude.
Yeah, you can delete that from your brain, Meta. I'm sorry for bringing it back up.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're good. He'll be forgotten about in like 10 minutes.
Good, as it should be.
Fun fact number 4: Houston legend Scarface from the Ghetto Boys. That's where people knew him from at this point. Now we just know Scarface for Scarface. Shout out to him. Glad he's doing better after COVID. Still,
not scary.
Yeah, it was really scary. I was really worried. So he heard the album before it dropped, and he told Hov to chill because Hov was being too real and using real names in this album when he was talking about some specific drug dealers. He told him that he was going to get caught up. So Jay followed the advice of Scarface and changed it up. Which, that's crazy to think like these are real stories. You know what I mean?
That's nuts, man.
Like Jay-Z talking to his friend's ghost, like that gives me chills no matter what. Every time I hear it, when I hear regrets, and he's like, this whole verse, I've been talking to your spirit a little too much. Like,
do we? All right, as a trio, our thoughts on ghosts and the spiritual realm.
I've seen them.
I believe in it.
You've seen them?
Absolutely.
I believe in them as well. My sister used to have a roommate at our dad's crib where she would see her roommate would see our grandpa's ghost walking up the stairs, smoking a cigarette whenever our dad was talking about the land. Our family owns a lot of land in the Middle East. It's a big thing for us. And whenever there's land problems, she'd be like, I can see your grandpa walking up the stairs, like stressed and smoking a cigarette.
Wow. That's crazy.
What's your ghost story? Oh yeah. Let's go.
So I lived in South Minneapolis for 5.5 years with my, one of my closest friends at the time. Shout out Mike Groves and his brother Danny. Their father lived with them. He reconnected. They weren't really close to their father growing up. He had left the picture. He got sick. He came back, and they accepted him. He lived in the crib One day I came home from work and there was medics there and everything carrying him out. He died. He had kidney failure, so he was doing dialysis and everything, but he died in the house. The room was open, the room was big. I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, y'all want the bigger room. So I took his room over. And man, there was some wild stuff. Like the furnace was right next to my room in another part. And one day, Danny's kid was just looking at the furnace, and the furnace was like rocking back and forth crazy. And her mom went over and said, just leave her alone. And it stopped. And after that, I was like, you know what, man? I started looking at other places to live, dude. Yeah, that was real. I was like, wow.
The spirits are out here, man. The spirits, they're talking.
Yeah,
You know what?
absolutely.
I've heard that though. Usually, if a spirit's messing with you, all you got to do is tell them to quit, or then they'll like. Not all the time, but this is what I've heard. If you just tell them to stop, or tell them I see you, or whatever.
Yeah, I think they just want your attention, and after they realize they got it.
Mm-hmm. Oof, that's crazy.
That's wild.
Oof.
That's comfort. I don't know. I find comfort in that. To know that my grandpa, even though I can't see him, I met him like once or twice. Like he died when I was really young, but just to know that he's around, there's something really like, I'm hugged by the ancestors, right? So
yeah, for sure.
It's really cool. Like I got a line of Alamats. I feel like the Avatar. I'm Aang. Let's go. They're all behind me.
I love that. Yo, all right. So fun fact number 5. You probably didn't know this, but Jay-Z, at the time, I don't know what he's like now, but at the time, not a weed smoker at all. He was high as shit in the Ain't No N-Word video. Up to that point, he only like smoked on vacation. He said he could count like on his hand the number of times that he had ever smoked, because he said that it was counterproductive. The person that got him high was Biggie, of course. Biggie offered it to him, and he's like, I'm not gonna turn Biggie down. I'm gonna go ahead and smoke this. And he was like, it took him 20 minutes to like get his composure before they started shooting the video. He was like high out of his mind, and he was just telling himself over and over, like, relax, you're not in the streets anymore. Chill, chill, chill. And Biggie saw him when he came out and was like, I got you.
That was it. That was the interaction. I got you.
That was it. After he saw him high as shit, freaking out.
That's legendary, man. That's a legendary story.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, you at number 5?
Oh, that's number 5. Go ahead.
All right, Justice fun facts. Not as fun as yours. Again, we don't know the stories of this really. So I got 3 Justice fun facts and then 2 just Bieber fun facts. All right, number 1, Peaches was written at producer Andrew Watt's house, who's a phenomenal guitarist, by the way, when he was hanging out with Shawn Mendes. So Shawn Mendes, Watt, and Bieber just writing songs. And I think it's interesting. I'm like, and I don't think Mendes has a credit on that. So maybe we'll see a Shawn Mendes like lawsuit to Justin Bieber. Just 2 pop icon, a very white courtroom. Number 2, during a Tiny Desk performance that was about a month ago, Justin Bieber performed a very sultry and laid-back version of Peaches, which is 1,000 times better than the album version. I tweeted it out. Everyone agrees. The song was sped up by the producer SHNDO. Shndo.
Is that a Japanese producer? It sounds Japanese.
I don't know. I didn't Google him because I just found this out.
Okay, I'm gonna Google him right now.
But nope, that's a Pitbull producer. Okay. Whatever. But
like Pitbull the rapper, like Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, but I don't like Shndo for speeding it up because the slow sultry version, I'll tweet it out from the Link Up LP Twitter page. It's so good, and like I think the version we hear is like 105 BPM. The version that they put out to like 60, like halftime, like bam.
Oh, wow.
Like really like Elton John style, like kind of like trying to think of an Elton John song, like Elton John, Billy Joel, like piano bass thing. Like there's like a DJ scratching and all that, and there's a guitarist and like the Rhodes piano. It's super great. So
that's dope. I'm like, yeah, I love Rhodes.
Yeah, that's the one. All right, number 3, Justin Bieber's favorite animated movie is The Lion King. Good job, Justin, for having great taste. A little bit boring though. I feel like that's in everyone's top 5, right? Lion King's a top 5 animated film.
Hey,
Auggie, you shake your head. What's up?
I mean, the math is there. You know what I'm saying? If it's in everybody's top 5, it's bound to be somebody's number 1.
I don't know if it's in my top 5.
Oh, what's your top 5?
A Bug's Life.
I can argue that it's not in my top 5.
Oh, let's get into it. All right, Meta, you think about yours. I got mine because I have this
Cool.
debate frequently. A Bug's Life is my number 1. I love an Aesop fable adapted with insects. Great. 2, How to Train Your Dragon. I cry every time at the first one. Number 3, Rango, because it's so weird. Oh shit, it might be in my top 5. Damn it, I was lying. It's somewhere in there. Those are my big top 3. Though.
Yeah, it might be.
Meta, what do you got?
I don't really have an order, but Shrek.
Oh, Shrek's in mine too. Good call.
Yeah, Shrek's good.
Toy Story 1.
Yep,
Iconic.
I got that one.
Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Robin Williams alone as a kid, that was like the most amazing performance in life to me. Still is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it might be my top 5 too.
It's
You start thinking like, well, what can I put over it though? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
None of y'all said Up.
Oh, but see, you know why?
I
Because
only saw it once.
we all repressed that because those 5 minutes in the beginning. We all repressed the memory montage with his wife.
Oh,
Yeah, that's really sad, but it ends up so good. Like Up is, I think, my number 1.
Okay, I got one for you. Know, a movie I really like that's probably in nobody's top 5, but I love this movie. Megamind.
Megamind's good. Will Ferrell does a great job. That's a slept on.
Will Ferrell, Jonah Hill. That movie was great. The movie was hilarious.
I gotta see it. I never saw it.
I love. Oh my god, it's so funny.
I also rock with Shark Tale just because of Will Smith and like who else?
Yeah.
That cast is crazy.
Jungle Book is on mine.
Yo, okay, forgot about I do like the Jungle Book more than I like the Lion King.
Yeah, the Jungle Book is, if you're talking about like probably based in Africa films, like Jungle Book is superior. You know what I mean?
And I got Finding Nemo. I watched that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Where's Frozen at though? Where's Frozen?
I've never seen Frozen, bro.
It gets unnecessary. It gets a little bit too much hate. I think the hate is warranted, but it's like, okay, it's 25 to 33% too much hate. Where I know it's like mob mentality. Like, oh, you're just hating on it.
We're talking about animated films too. The Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Well, for me,
I guess I just didn't count that. Like if I count, like,
so
but I did say Megamind though, so I mean, I guess you count that. You would have to count that too.
Yeah, I guess Into the Spider-Verse might be one of the best movies I've ever seen. That
of
comic book animation,
yeah, for sure.
Okay,
I can say that. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. American Tail with Feifel when I was a kid.
Feifel Goes West is mine, but yeah.
Not mad at that. Okay, yeah. Lion King is not in my top
5. wait. See, I like that we worked it out. Number 4, fun fact about Justin Bieber: he loves his wife Haley. Can you tell? This entire album's about.
Wow.
I like a good wife album. You know, I know people make fun of Chance for like the "Ooh, I love my wife" rap, but I love my wife too. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I think people are just jaded because like they're not in love and they haven't found that one for them yet, so they just hate on actual love. Like it's easier to hate on love than fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's just what people do. Like.
But see, that I guess the way that you juxtapose these albums is you got a great like I Love My Wife album against a terrible I Love My Wife album, and Bieber has we all know who has the best one and who has the worst one.
I mean, yeah, the similarities in these albums are next to none. We'll talk about that later on as we wrap up the pod, but I don't see very many similarities. Besides like what justice system similarities with Justice and Reasonable Doubt, there's nothing else.
Oh yeah, that's it. I was just comparing that to Chance the Rapper's Big Day album. I don't
want to talk about the Big Day.
Oh yeah,
we surpassed.
Out of respect for Chance, we won't bring it.
Yeah. We talk about acid rap and what's the other one?
Coloring Book.
Yeah, Coloring Book. All right, fun fact number 5. Justice is the Biebs' 8th number 1 album, making him the youngest male soloist to ever do that at 27 years old. There's no other. So that's the youngest male soloist. And I tried to find who was the youngest because that insinuates female, right? So right. I gather that it's Taylor Swift. I don't know her age, but Taylor Swift also has 8 number 1 solo albums. The Jam Peaches also debuted at number 1 as well, making him the first male soloist ever to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and Hot 100 simultaneously. I would gather that Taylor Swift also did that, probably around 1989. Not the year, the album.
Yeah.
Big white rival energy right here.
That's that rival. It's a rivalry.
Oh, rival.
Rival goes west.
Let's go.
Rival goes west.
Let's go.
All right.
Lily logo race. Let's go.
Swish. Okay. One's got to go. Meta. So this bit is where I'm going to list 4 things about Hove. Auggie will list 4 things about Bieber, and you will decide what's got to go for respective artists paired with, for Hove, you and Auggie will discuss. For Bieber, you and I will discuss.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So we'll start off with Jay-Z. One's got to go for Hove. I put a note here. This was very hard because Jay-Z is just so authentic and honest, and his entire career is perfect in my eyes, but I'm biased because Jay-Z is my GOAT. All right. He's my number 1.
I'm with you.
All right. And I did his entire career, not just Reasonable Doubt. So I wanted to be hard, and I found him.
I won't say. Can
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. Can I say that his career isn't perfect? Can I just say that?
His career is perfect. I think it's a perfect call. I said it's a perfect culmination of his story.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll get into that later. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Jordan.
Number 1, no Nas beef. Doesn't happen. Number 2, no Biggie features. All right. No coattails of Biggie. Number 3, no Beyonce marriage. Number 4, no Kanye West mentorship. All these things played pivotal roles in him staying and ascending to the top. Which one impacts his legacy the least?
Beyonce.
Oh, that's definitely the wrong answer.
Beyonce. No, here's the thing: is that Jay-Z was bigger than Beyonce. Well, he was just as big as Beyonce at the time when they first got together. I feel like he could have done that power couple thing with anybody. He could have done it with Kelly.
With Rihanna. I know you want that Jay-Z and Rihanna relationship. I know you wanted it.
He could have done it with her, to be honest. If Beyonce would have left his ass and he would have been like, look, I guess it's just me and you now, Rihanna. And then they would have put out Shining.
He'd still be Jay-Z for sure.
He'd still be Jay-Z, and he'd put out Shining with Rihanna instead of Beyonce.
Oh, Shining, underrated jam, by the way. I think we're discounting how post Kingdom Come that the Beyonce association really helped Jay-Z stay at the top.
That's fair.
As a fan? Whoa, dang, I don't know. Ooh. That's a difficult one, bro. That's well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
I struggle with this bit, so I'm
leaning towards Nas.
I think that's the right answer.
And the reason is because that was more so of just, it was great for hip hop, but it was short-lived in the sense of after it was over, it was just kind of over. You know what I mean? Like, and then Nas ended up like working for Jay on Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? Which was a feather under Jay's cap. But if none of that would have happened, I don't think it would have took anything away from his career. If anything, he'd be better off because like that's like the one, Ether is like the one thing that people can go back and like clown over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah. I'll say this. The Jay-Z beef or the Jay-Z Nas beef, I think is maybe a little bit deeper than that. And I alluded to this at the beginning of the podcast, talking about how Nas was the best rapper in the game when Jay-Z put out this album. And his entire career up until that beef, he was chasing Nas. Like, and people were saying, and Nas had said this, he's like, yo, people around me saying Jay-Z has this strange obsession with you. He has this strange obsession. And it's kind of like him chasing Nas to be like the best rapper in the game got him to this point, kind of like Michael Jordan basically like using the fuel of critics and using the fuel of like, you weren't even the best player on the team.
Thomas.
Yeah, you weren't the best player on the team at North Carolina. I think that Jay-Z needed Nas in order to get to that level.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I like that. I do. Because that made me think about what was the song? Where I'm From, when he said the bar about cats in the barbershop arguing who the best rappers, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas. So he kind of said it himself. So that's a good point.
And if Biggie was alive, who knows? That could have been his like, what his neuroticism in his brain that I gotta chase Biggie, I gotta go at Biggie, da 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 da. Who knows? We could have seen Biggie on the Summer
Well, they
Jam
were going to
screen.
do that commission album too. They were going to do that commission album too.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the commission was a real thing. That was going to be an album. Biggie and Jay-Z had a whole album called The Commission that was supposed to drop.
Why didn't we get this? I feel like so
It's
much
out
time
there.
has passed. We could have got this by now.
I said the same thing, but I do know that it's been confirmed by plenty of people that it was a thing.
I would love to
So
hear.
I guess I'd have to say Beyonce then.
Oh, Meta, you. Oh no.
I have to say Beyonce.
I think we're discrediting how monumental Beyonce was to his post 2008 career. No 444, no adult contemporary hip hop without Beyonce.
You know
Think
what?
about that.
It could be argued that that Beyonce basically leveled up and got the killer's mentality after she had been with Jay-Z. Because before she was just she was this pop star, I mean, of course, her mom was pushing her along. She was a pop star. She was doing her thing, but you didn't really get
her
business
aesthetic change though.
Yeah, you don't get this
change. Her aesthetic changed. Her view and her music, her direction changed. They became more Black involved, and with that, both of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
maybe it's an iron sharpens iron situation, which is what marriage should do. That's the link to justice. These men love their wives, bro. And we love it. We like it, bro. I like when men love their wives. I like it.
All right. Okay. All right. So, all right. I feel better about this. All right. So we're both right. We're both right.
All right, Auggie, give us the one's got to go for Justin Bieber. And I'm going to let you know right now, him peeing in the mop bucket has to stay.
Yo, hold on. I didn't know about this mop bucket. Tell me about the mop bucket.
Oh, he peed in the mop bucket. Let me see. I didn't really pay. Let's see. Justin Bieber mop bucket. There was a big scandal. He peed in a restaurant mop bucket. Okay, TMZ.com, 7/10/2013. When he was 17. He also said fuck Bill Clinton while he was doing it.
What the fuck?
Let's see.
That's some weird shit to say in 2013 from anybody.
Okay, so rather than go to a bat, this is from TMZ, there's no author. So TMZ.com. Rather than go to a bathroom like a civilized person, Bieber, wearing pants that should literally be illegal, whipped his junk out and whizzed into a yellow mop bucket used to clean the restaurant's floors, meaning whoever job was to mop up the place had to physically change Bieber's disgusting piss water. That's not a good look. That is, and he was 19 at the time. Yeah, and he's also gone on record saying I was young and I was mentally unhealthy, not in the good spot. I had to go to therapy and all this stuff. So,
did you say it was in a Starbucks?
It was in a restaurant. I don't know what the restaurant is. But yeah, there he is in leather pants. You can tell it's the Watch the Throne era, right? Leather pants and a kilt, sleeveless hoodie. This is 2013.
Oh man,
wow.
I don't miss that.
My wife was in Beverly Hills with her best friend, and they were in a Starbucks, and Bieber was wilding out in the Starbucks. So, if it happened to be that same day, that would be very interesting.
Dude, I wild out whenever I'm not going to say grande. I'm going to say small, medium, large. I'm so sorry. I can't do it. I'm not saying venti.
That's what you
don't make me.
That's what you do. All right. One's got to go. Justin Bieber. All right. Number one, Skrillex and Diplo. We don't get the ascension of Bieber into because personally, I love Purpose so much, but I dislike Bieber music up until that point.
Yeah, that's gotta say because they revived his career. He was dead in the water before Where Are You Now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, sorry, go on.
All right, so number two, Haley. We don't get all these types of love songs on Justice without Haley. If it's Selena Gomez, I don't think we're getting Justice. Number three, the Comedy Central roast. I don't know if y'all remember this.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it vividly.
Okay. So here's why I put Comedy Central roast in here. This took the pressure off of Bieber. And they did this specifically. I knew it at the time. I'm they're trying to take the pressure off him. Because he was wilding out at the time. This roast was in 2015. And the couple years leading up to this, you had the mop bucket, which I didn't know. You had the DWI that he had. You also had the racial joke video that had surfaced a year before that, where he's telling that racist ass joke, and he was a kid at the time, and we can talk about this, but I'll just say right now, cancel culture is not real.
Of course,
and he's a prime example for this.
Hold up, wasn't our 45th president at that roast or nah?
No.
I thought he was. He's at a. I think it was. He was
He
at a
got
roast. He got
roasted.
roasted. Well, that's not what you want.
Shout out to Hannibal Buress though. Hannibal Buress was the goat at that roast.
Did he light him up? I haven't seen that roast. Should I watch it?
He lit him up in a very non-playful way too. He was like, "Yo, I don't even really want to be here. Like, they told me this would be a good thing to do for my career." He's like, "You're a piece of shit," and I don't know. It was you got to look it up. It was great.
Yeah.
Shout out Hannibal. Go check out his new. Well, it's not new anymore. It's a year old, but he put a comedy special on YouTube, and oh my gosh, Hannibal doesn't miss. Sorry, Auggie. I'm really talkative today because of the panic attack caffeine. I was talking about. I'm sorry, Meta. You're right. It's the insecurity coming out.
Yo, number 4 on One's Gotta Go is Scooter Braun. Synonymous with Justin Bieber. If we don't have Scooter Braun, Biebs might be doing karaoke in Canada right now.
Nah, that wouldn't happen.
So what do y'all think? Again,
I'm
gonna run through the.
It's one of the last two for me. It's between the last two for me.
You got
Go
the roast
again, Auggie.
Okay,
I say
Skrillex
the
and
roast.
Diplo.
I say the roast. The roast gotta go.
Okay.
The roast is a great PR move, though. Like, that's so great to get the heat off your client, to be like, all right, let's make fun of him playfully, so it humanizes him. Kind of like Jimmy Fallon.
No, I get it. Definitely did humanize him. It absolutely humanized him. The main reason I say it is because I remember Flavor Flav caught some of the most racist jokes I've ever heard in my life for that roast, and I didn't like that shit at all.
Yeah.
I didn't like that shit at all.
I haven't seen that one. But now I don't really feel like.
Oh no! It was that was the roast of Flavor Flav. This one had Snoop and okay, never mind. I got to mix it up.
I feel like a lot of those racial jokes hit it, or they don't hit, but like a lot they get a little bit too ballsy at the roast to like they just go on and they say, I'm like, I don't know, that's not. Well, I do know it's not necessary.
The roast did help him. It did help humanize him at a time where he needed it the most. I don't know. I also think he was so big of a star, like he could have survived without it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like he could have done without that roast more than he could have done without the other 3 options. Like his wife seems to be the best thing that's happened to him so far. Like his lifestyle
and we love a husband loving his wife. We've established this pro-wife podcast.
Absolutely. So I got to give credence to that. Scooter Braun, of course. And what was the first one?
Yeah, you go through them again. So
first one was
Jay-Z and Diplo, or not Jay-Z.
Skrillex. Oh yes, and them pretty much reviving his sound. That's like taking away Timberland and Neptune's from Timberlake.
Yeah, true.
It's not as it wouldn't be the same. I'm sure they could still make good music, but it would not be what we know. So.
Meta,
I have to get the roast out of here.
I think you're right, because you can't touch the producers, you can't touch the wife, pro-wife pod, and then Scooter Braun is the orchestrator, and he's the orchestrator. So it's the roast.
Yeah, it's a PR move compared to life-changing situations.
Yeah.
Personally, I say both of y'all are wrong. I think it's Haley. I think it's the wife, even though I'm pro-wife. I just feel like
you're clearly not.
I feel like he could have. He was gonna make great music anyways. You know what I'm saying? Without his wife there, and he wouldn't take Haley out of this. He would have probably took the roast out too. But me personally, I think
it's dude. Go watch. So when Changes came out, Bieber sat down with Zane Lowe, Apple Music, the head honcho of interviewers, and this man is broken. But when he's talking about Haley, he looks up and he gets life in him again, and he's talking to her about how loving and supportive she is. You can't remove it. How dare you?
Artists make the best music when they're broken.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about a human now, Auggie. You are a leech consuming Bieber's life as if he's not a person. This is a dark side of you, bro. Don't like it. Don't like it.
All right.
This is a Dark Side of the Ring episode with Auggie.
Yeah,
Let's
come
go.
on.
Dark Auggie.
No, I'm actually not. I'm not mad at that take either, and I thought about that one. But as he said, just from what I've seen of Bieber with his wife and the way he speaks about her, everything like that's a life-changing situation right there. Him and his wife are like, that changed him. Like for the better.
I'm gonna start. Next time I see Chanel, be like, he's talking shit about marriage, dude.
Stop. I'm gonna show the podcast.
All right.
Stop snitch, no snitching.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. My bad. To snitch on a Jay-Z pod or to snitch as a result of the Jay-Z pod, irredeemable. That would be,
That's
I'd be
amazing.
falling.
That's amazing.
All right, Auggie, hit it. Let's go.
You ready? You ready? Here we
Yep.
go.
And now it's time for the Link Up Challenge. Auggie 5000 versus Jordan. Fight!
All right, Meta, do you know the rules and regulations of the link up? Do you know this game? Did Auggie explain it?
I believe so, like you guys make connections to see how they're connected or whatever. Okay.
Yep, and you are the judge. You have a punishment, ideally. And if not, if that's news to you, all of our judges seem to miss that part of the text. It's like, yeah, come up with a punishment. They go, wait, I have to? It's like, it's right there in the text. So, and you are the,
I'll come up with one.
yeah, and you got this. It's your parameters, all right? If the first, well, don't buzz the first link so you get like a feel of the game.
Okay.
But you set the rules. So if the link doesn't meet your liking, we're out of there.
Okay, cool. I'm with it.
Augie, who's going first this week?
You know what? I'll go first, man. I'm not.
Oh, I
I'm not
love
tripping.
that. What a gentleman. Wait, no,
Yeah,
ladies go first.
Whoa, hey.
But also we love our
identify as
wives.
male, sir. Hey, hi, my wife's here. Just gotta say hi.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Now
I
he's
love my
being
wife.
nice.
Might as well. Yeah.
Now he's being nice.
What timing?
All right. So here we go. Is it giving you to it nice and easy, nice and slow?
Yeah.
Both of these artists, Justin Bieber and Jay-Z, they appeared on both of Khaled's most recent albums. Grateful, of course. Jay-Z and Beyonce had Shining. Bieber had I'm the One with Chance the Rapper, and then the next album, I can't remember the names of the songs, but they're both on both of those albums, Grateful and Father of Assad.
That's a good one. Absolutely.
I liked Grateful.
Grateful.
Most because, yeah. Ding Shining. Give us a ding for Shining, by the way. Great record. Jay-Z has an album and more with Kanye West, right? Kanye also produced and rapped on the Runaway Love remix. Shout out Good Fridays back in 2010.
Mm.
All right, cool.
You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. So Benny Blanco, one of Justin Bieber's main collaborators on Justice, kissed Beyonce on the lips.
You stole my link.
And he has that in common with Jay-Z. He said that on the Zane Lowe interview. And here's the situation. He was going for the cheek and he missed and he caught her like on the lip. And Jay-Z happened to not be looking and he felt like he would have died by the hands of Jay-Z if Jay-Z was actually looking at him.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I love how he's
So
like,
good that he had it too.
yeah, that's a great link. And also, I love the story where Benny's like, I thought my career was over because they're picking beats for Beyonce's next album. And then Jay-Z goes, all right, bro, see you tomorrow. And that's how he knew that he was okay because Jay-Z said, all right, see you tomorrow.
That's hilarious.
All right. Martin Luther King appears on Justice, but against all odds.
Right.
Martin Luther King is referenced on Made in America off Watch the Throne.
I allow it.
All right.
Boom.
I'll allow it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. At Jay-Z and Beyonce's 2014 tour On the Run, Jay and Beyonce flashed Bieber's flashed Bieber's mugshot on the screen, therefore giving a solid link between the two.
Yeah, that's good.
DJ Premier produced on Reasonable Doubt.
Oh.
DJ Premier famously banned Justin Bieber from rapping at the 2011 BET Awards.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ Premier, man. Shout out to DJ
That
Premier.
said,
Shout
Premier
out
has
Primo, man. Shout out Primo.
right decision, but also Primo has gone on record saying he'd still like to get a song on the books with Justin. He's like, yeah, I produce for him, so he's
All
double
right.
dipping a little bit, but
Yeah,
that's cool. We all contain multitudes. It's fine.
Right.
I like that. All right, so here we go. I was gonna say this one for later, but I got to get this one out now. Both artists have put hands on fans. Bieber did it in Barcelona in 2016, and there is footage of Hove doing it to a female fan from this 2000 doc Backstage.
Backstage. Yeah, I remember that. That one.
We're getting to the we're getting to him now. Okay, here we go. Here's a good one. John Bellion, right? Produced on Justice, right? A great songwriter and producer and soul artist in his own right. John Bellion also wrote The Monster for Rihanna, and Rihanna has worked with Jay-Z. Oh, Meta hates it. Look at that.
No, I don't hate it.
Oh,
That's not direct.
Augie, I don't want to hear it. Not from you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
That was close though. That was close. But
I saw there's something with the left side of your lip. I'm like, it was starting to like quiver a little bit, like disgust. I'm like, oh, I'm done. Dead in the water.
All right. So here's the fact. Hove is the reason that Bieber doesn't look at YouTube comments. He says, I don't need to address every speculation. He told this to Teen Vogue. He said, remember when Cameron dissed Jay-Z? Jay didn't even respond. Why didn't he respond? Because he's Jay-Z.
Yeah, count that. That was a good one.
Oh, I don't know about that, but whatever. You're the judge.
He was the reason though, right?
I guess. All right. Okay, well, All right. Skrillex produced Too Much on Justice. Skrillex is also in a group called Jack U, which revived Justin's career with Where Are You Now? We've discussed this. Diplo, a member of Jack U and Bieber producer, also was an original producer on Liftoff from Watch the Throne, but they removed his contributions, which were these really sick and booming drums. You can hear his version on the very hard to track down Watch the Throne documentary teaser that hit the internet around the album's release.
That's close, but that was too much trying to connect it. I don't know. Yeah.
Is that yes or no, Meta?
I gotta say no.
That's fine. That's fine. I knew that was it. I was stretching. That's fine. I can handle these.
Yes.
I can handle these losses when I know it's like, okay, that's fine. Like I was stretching it. Meta, what's my punishment here?
Your punishment is, do you have chest hair?
Yes.
Your wife gets to wax.
Whoa!
Just one, too. Not even the whole thing. Just one strip.
Oh my God. So this is funny, Meta, because usually I get like the really weak punishments. Like I have to take a shot mixed with baby food, which I have not done yet. Maybe I'll get my chest waxed by my wife because I love my wife.
in one spot. Oh yes, love your wife. There we go. Amazing.
All right.
But Jordan, I'm really disappointed because there was a really easy link that I've left off the table here.
Really?
This was actually the only easy link that I've had in my tank. And Heartbreaker, which is a Justin Timberlake song, the first single off his album Journals, and Heartbreaker, of course, Mariah Carey and Jay-Z from 1999.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
But that's a different. You know how I feel about different album links. I try to keep it to career and the album we're discussing because I have integrity.
Stop. Come on, man. Get out of here.
All right, let's move on.
Shots fired.
Yeah, bow, bow. Let's move on. Insummation, right? This is where we just talk about these albums and anything we didn't quite get to in the pod. I have a question about everyone's favorite song right now, Peaches. Okay, I'm going to recite some lyrics. And if we're going to talk about wives, all right? I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh, yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my wife up to the north. Yeah, badass bitch. How do we feel about Justin Bieber referring to his wife as a badass bitch?
I don't think she minded, so I don't think I should mind either. That's his wife. I'm sure she heard the song before it hit the airwave. So
that's a good point.
You know what? Yeah. We can give this a real world test. Chanel, come here real quick.
Yeah. Let's
I like this.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I am.
Yeah. I'm not saying that.
Let's go right to the source.
All right,
here she comes.
You have to get in the frame. Oh, she's pregnant, so she's climbing the stairs. She's out of breath already.
We should send her the Zoom link.
Okay, come in the frame.
Hey.
They say, hey. Chanel, you're a badass bitch.
What?
You a bad bitch?
You don't say that.
Didn't work.
It didn't work.
No, because I know you would never call me that.
But you're a bad bitch?
I'm bad, but I'm not a bitch.
Okay.
See?
All right. Jordan, you're correct here, sir.
Okay. So we were talking, yeah. So at a wedding once, thanks, Chanel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, here's my thing. I don't think. Here's my.
That fell flat to the motherfucker.
It really did. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was
did
not
expect
good, dude.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Whoops.
Damn.
So
I feel like I got to get my chest hair.
I thought it was gonna work. It didn't work.
Yeah. I kind of knew it was gonna fell flat. I was like, oh, yeah, this is bad. But so the first summer, my wife and I were dating. we went to a wedding of one of my like elementary school best friends. We played on baseball teams and everything, and he got super drunk. And then he comes up and he's like, "Oh, it's been so good to hang out with you, Allie. Can I call you a badass bitch?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And he goes, "Yeah, you're a badass bitch." And Allie like laughed and thought it was really funny. But I don't think I could, and I don't think like, and I appreciated that, but I don't think I could ever call my wife that. I don't know, mostly because I think men exhibit more bitch tendencies than women nowadays.
That's a fact.
Woo.
That's a whole fact right there.
Woo.
So there's layers there. But if Haley's
Don
cool with it,
DeMarco. There you go. I'm with
So
you on that one.
yeah. So if Haley's cool with it, I'm cool with it. But I made me a little bit uncomfortable.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think my only thing was I don't think he would have put it out if she had a problem.
Yeah. Badass wife.
So
And then my second thing. Do we hear any similarities between these albums? We got anything here?
I hear nothing. There's no Afrobeat, no like watered down Afrobeat on Jay-Z's album. There's no Phil Collins-esque songs on Jay-Z's album. There's no, Peaches in Georgia-esque.
There's some cool 80s samples on Reasonable Doubt though. They get some good
For sure.
synth work in there.
For sure.
This is what I came up with. They both have wonderful production, albeit very different. And they both do a great job telling the story of an artist's life at a given moment in time. But a lot of art does that, right? Art's either a sonic exploration or a moment in time, right? So Reasonable Doubt is what? Mafioso rap, and Justice is about a young dude love and marriage. These are both moments in time that can relate to a lot of people, but that's art in general. So it's kind of a weak link, but that's what we got.
So I'll say this. I think that here's a connection. Jay-Z and Justin Bieber around the same age when they made these albums, which is interesting. This is like what Jay-Z's 8th album or something like that. Or Justin Bieber's like 8th album and Jay-Z's first album. And both of them being like in the 27-year-old range feel like they're mature and accomplished. And I every time I listen to Reasonable Doubt, I always, when I get to Coming of Age, where he has Memphis Bleak on there, and he's like the OG talking to the young dude. And as a dude in his 30s, I'm like, dude, you were 26 when this came out. Like, you're talking like you're like in your 40s or some shit, like trying to pass the torch on to a young man. And it's just an interesting, and Justin Bieber, he reflects on being a dumbass when he was a kid and how he's more mature now. And I think the difference is like Justin married, changed his outlook on life, and of course like got all the flack from the media. And Jay-Z, for him, I think that him talking about how this was going to be his last, that his one and only, his one and done, I think that he kind of looked at this as like, this is just something I'm going to do. Like, I was, hustling and doing stuff on the streets, and this is kind of like a feather on my cap, Right. And I think that was that for him. But that's the only thing that I can find in common.
Meta, what do you got? Anything else you would like to add to this Jay-Z and Justin Bieber combo?
I think this album is sort of a coming of age album for Justin Bieber, and Jay-Z's got a song called Coming of Age.
Hey, there it is.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, all right.
Yo, Meta, what can, before we get out of here, man, I want to just shout you out, and shout out anything that you have going on. Like, do you want to tell everybody where to follow you, what you got on your plate? I know you're out here working and doing as much as you can while you're there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm producing more, and I just produced a song for Hannah Sabano. She's a really dope artist from back in Minneapolis. Great vocalist, great rapper too. And she has a song called Blue that I just produced for her. She just dropped. I'm about to drop a Lost Tapes sort of thing in the next couple of weeks on Spotify and Apple Music and all those platforms. And yeah, just reintroducing my music to like the platform, like streaming sites or whatever. I've always had it on Bandcamp, just kind of like being the, if you want it, you can come find it. But it's all old to me now, and I'm on a new wave, making new stuff. So I'm just giving it all back and starting my next chapter of this music thing. So yeah, Metasota, Metasota on on everything, on my social media, on my YouTube channel, PlayStation. If you play PlayStation, you play 2K, you can add me on there.
Okay. We might need.
Let's go.
I'm getting my 2K chops back. So give me like a month.
Oh, dope! Yeah, hit me up, bro.
And then we can hop on.
We can run park, and we can like run rec or something. Like I always got some dudes on there always run teams together. So it's not. It would be more than you playing on a team than us going at it. So.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for my attempted deep threes. I'm gonna keep trying until I make them.
Speaking of hoops,
but yeah, that's about it, man. There's a battle rapper, Slave Seven. Just we're gonna reschedule that verse for Clubhouse, and I'll keep everybody posted with that. And I'm glad his mother's doing better, and everything is good with him. So I'll keep everybody posted on that. That should be fun, just to see what the people think about our music and kind of a celebration of both of us at the same time. And I've been a big fan of his. I'm a battle rap fan, so I've been a fan of his for years. So it's kind of cool that I'm in that community now. I'm just kind of thriving with that. I'll be producing for a lot of battle rappers too. So,
word.
That's dope.
Love it.
Before we get out of here, Meta, you guys talked about hoops for a second. I just want to know your thoughts on Alex Rodriguez.
Sure. Yo, way too soft. You see how he posted the video on Instagram where it's like it was a Coldplay song and he was like showing all the pictures of J-Lo with a broken heart. Oh, so he's down. He is down bad.
We don't need that.
Bro, he tagged her. Heartbroken at J-Lo. Bro, he tagged her with the Coldplay song, a sad We're talking like 2004 Coldplay, like a really sad joint too. Like he's deep in the discog. And I'm like,
of course he does this right before he becomes like, Jesus.
I'm like, soft.
I don't like it. I don't. There's so many other people that KG over KG. Like, what are we doing, man? Like,
I do think it makes the Timberwolves a little bit sexier as a destination. I think he knows.
Yeah, I get it. It's A-Rod. I get it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What's he know about that? I don't even think he cares about the sport. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, I think he just wants to call. Yeah, he was trying to buy the Mets. You go from the Mets to the Timberwolves. I'm not saying the Mets are like this.
Bro.
Yeah.
You're just trying to. This is an investment thing. That's all it is. That's cool. I get it. It's business, but I would have loved KG to be that guy or somebody who I know loved the sport.
Yeah. Also, like from a business standpoint, like even if you got to give up a little bit of your stake, like you're the guy that got KG into an ownership group in Minnesota. Like if you reach down to like, hey, here's a small stake. We got like this is your team. You'll
be adored forever to be the person that did that. Like,
it would be such a strong ownership move, and it's free PR. And we would be like the fans would be. We're kind of happy to get Glenn out of here, anyways. But Glenn kept the team here, so it's kind of like, oh, you're gonna relocate the the What's up, A-Rod?
Exactly.
But if you have KG in there, if you got KG in there, you know, like the roots are in there. Like you know,
they don't move it to like somewhere in Florida or something, or like back to. Much as I think that Seattle deserves a basketball team, I don't want it to be my team.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. If you do the math, and there's been a lot of talk about like the math of expansion over relocation, it makes no sense for the NBA and all the owners to sink money into relocating the Wolves when we're like a top 15 media market where they can just pay some more money and they can pay a little bit more money and then make more money in the long run if they just expand to Seattle and Vegas. And then we'll go to the Eastern Conference and we're a 7 seed. Already,
boom.
We love it.
Yo, cheers to that.
Let's go. I like where you're at. Boy, let's go, man.
Yeah. So we're just thinking. Also, the Chris Finch era is upon us, and I think we're storming to the 6th seed.
Yo,
storming to the 6th seed next year.
Put you on that. And I like Anthony Edwards' response when they asked him about A-Rod.
Earlier in the year, he said that he could play. He's like, I was a cleanup hitter. That's what he said with Martin Gellner there. They go.
He was like, I can play baseball. I can do whatever. But you don't know who A-Rod is? Like,
yeah, bro.
That was funny. That was funny though. That kid is special. I love him. I love it. He exudes leadership in the most relatable way. I can't wait for him to take us to Titletown.
He's the new Charles Barkley. That's my
No,
not on the court.
You know who he reminds me of, ironically, is Jimmy Butler.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he has a Jimmy Butler swag. He does his own thing. He marches to the beat of his own drum. He's not intimidated by anybody or anything. He's just gonna do what he does, and you know what you're gonna get from him. He's just gonna play hard, and he's trying to be better than you. That's what I like about him.
I think he's cool
about Jimmy.
I think he's quotable like Chuck though. Like, yeah, not on the court, but
yeah,
for
he's
sure,
yeah.
for sure.
Quotable.
Yeah, he's gonna say some wild shit. He's gonna say a lot of wild shit.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
You can already see his impact when, like, you see like all the guys taking their interviews together. Like when it was Nas Reed and Anthony, and then all of a sudden Ricky comes in, does like the peace sign, and then Cat comes in just lifting a weight. Like he's a fun guy. He's making the locker room fun, and I think that's really important.
And that's much needed in a culture, such a losing culture that we have. Just to keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Like at least they're having fun. With fun comes, I feel like once they're having fun and they get acclimated together as a group, then the wins will start to compile because you know they trust in each other. That's what's been missing the last 3 or 4 years, trusting each other. You know, like we had Jimmy. They knew Jimmy was the best player. They knew he was a leader, but for whatever reason, they didn't trust in him as a leader, and he definitely didn't trust in them as followers. So you know what I'm saying? So
well, Jimmy said Cat was the best player. He's like, nah, I wasn't the best player on that team. It was Cat.
No, he did say that. He said that Cat's ceiling was he was clearly the best player, but he just didn't have that dog in him. And I agree.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Cat's starting to get that dog. I think it's around Anthony. I think you can see Anthony's leadership.
Anthony Edwards is he's the toughest dude on the team already.
D'Lo's the weak link. They got to get D'Lo the fuck out of there.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, absolutely not.
I'm thinking. I don't agree. I'm simply thinking. I don't because for who though?
I don't know. I just feel like that
unless we get Devin from y'all, we're not.
Nah, D'Lo is not the problem. D'Lo is not the problem. When
he got that energy, he got that Alex Rodriguez playing Coldplay energy.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. D'Lo, he's gone on record. When you find a guy that loves Minnesota the way D'Lo has, and he's embraced it, like I found home, I'm here, let's go. When you have that energy, and when you see the way he's playing, when he has Cat by his side, oh my gosh,
he could love the city, he could love the team, but and I saw this at an early age for D'Lo when he snitched on what's his name, Nick Young.
Man, he was 20. He was like what, 20, 21?
When I was 20, I definitely wouldn't have been doing that shit.
We don't know what it's like to be young and 20.
That's a fact.
I do know. I wasn't trying to
not like at that level though, but it definitely was a weak move. But I
wasn't trying to catch my people up. I wasn't trying to be a snake in the grass.
Move.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm being kind of soft with D'Lo because I saw this Reddit story. This Redditor was the game a couple days ago. D'Lo hit he shot a 3, and then as soon as D'Lo as soon as the ball left his hands, they started celebrating and it's not fully it's not full capacity. So D'Lo knew where the sound was coming from, and after he knocked it down, he turned and gave him a nod and did the ice in my vein thing. And I don't know, I like a dude that appreciates the fans and can ball. D'Lo can ball, and the PNR game has been crazy.
Nice,
I'll give you this.
Minnesota,
go ahead, Meta.
The reason we love KG so much is because he was a legitimate all-star superstar. He was bigger. He was a superstar.
Yeah.
And he loved Minnesota. Mm-hmm. That's rare. We get stars. We get good players, but they don't want to stay, or they don't have the vested interest in the city like other cities and other teams and stuff. So I think to Jordan's credit, when you have a dude that's a proven all-star, and he's still not even in his prime yet. He's on the way up. He's a good young player, and he's actually wants to be a Timberwolf. It's hard to find that.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
that's a culture move. I like culture. Tibbs didn't have a good culture, right? And
I agree with that.
And guys like winning, and Chris Finch is proven to have a better strategy to win, and everyone's having fun. And that's why I don't like tanking. That pick is as good as gone. So let's use it as a preseason for next year, and let's hit the ground running. And
I agree.
But if we get that pick though, and Cade Cunningham will look really good in those black statement jerseys though. Woo!
Those jerseys are so raw. I do
the
like
city editions. Yeah,
I do like that. Things are just I don't know. It's a little more loose. I do, and I feel like they're playing to win and not tank. I do appreciate that. Even if they are losing, I can tell they're not giving up. They haven't just given up the season yet.
Yeah, they're better losses. There's less blowouts. There's still
even a few wins in there. Like that Knicks one was a good one. You know what I mean? They got some. They're doing their thing. I think they're figuring it out for the next year, and I'm always gonna be rooting for them. I might not always be happy, but I'm always gonna be watching and cheering. So.
It wouldn't be a Minnesota sports conversation if someone didn't say there's always next year. Thank you for hitting that meta, the Minnesota sports proverb.
That's literally our proverb. With the
God.
exception of the links, God bless the links.
Yeah, thank you,
God
Link.
bless you, beautiful champions, you wonderful people. Yeah, but besides that, yeah, that's our whole existence. Is well, we'll get them next time.
Which, speaking of, the links are going to get them this time. Look at my Twitter Avi is links 2021 WNBA champs, like my header. They're coming for it this year. That's a strong squad. We came away with in the draft again. We got the First Avenue edition jerseys. We got Coach Reeve. We're great. Aerial Powers. We're good. All right.
I agree, bro. I agree.
Strong look.
Shout out Maya Moore too. We miss you, Maya. But
we miss you, Maya, but you're out here being a world champion.
You're amazing for what you're doing.
Cheers to Maya. Can we get one for Maya?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm a huge fan of Maya Moore just as a person. Like I wish she was playing, but yo, like that's amazing. Like she knows that she's doing something greater and she has a bigger purpose. Like nothing but respect for that.
Mm-hmm.
All love. Also, I look great in her jersey, the 23 in that blue. I always feel so confident when I rock my Maya Moore jersey. I look good. I'm like, hell yeah. Thanks.
I'm too sexy for my jersey shit. Jordan, let's go, man.
Come on now. I've been doing push-ups. I'm ready for summer. As soon as we saw like the samples of the Rebel Edition Lynx jerseys, the First Ave ones, like, oh, I gotta start doing 30 push-ups a day, numerous times a day.
So good.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to the Link Up LP. Remember, go follow Meta. Go see what's up with him. And we are at the Link Up LP on all social media platforms. Remember, leave 5 stars and tell your friends. If you don't tell your friends, we stop doing it. That's the threat. That's the threat. Have a great week. We will see you later.
Love y'all, man.